Hello and welcome to this week's Talking Film, basically your ultimate movie news catch-up service, even though we're 3 weeks behind, but it's all good. We've got a lot to talk about, especially big news that dropped when I posted the other video about 3 weeks ago. But a lot to do with Disney, some trailers, and a response that either people like or people don't like. So that'll be interesting to talk about. My name's Daniel. We have Nick on the other side, and let's get on with the news.
Let's get on with the news.
To talk about, if I recall. Lots has happened.
Yeah, a lot has happened. We'll start with the big one that was 3 weeks ago, and we would have talked about that if it didn't drop on the same day I posted the video. Disney is doing a live-action Lion King.
Woo!
Be prepared.
I see what you did there. That was good. Gosh, I wish I'd come up with a pun in advance that I was ready to use, but you beat me to it. Okay, so this is kind of out of the blue in the timing of the announcement. Maybe not, but I think it is, because it's just like I did not need that to, come into my day that day when that was announced, because I was having a good day, and then they announced that, and I had to spend like a whole half hour, maybe an hour, just thinking about it and being like, am I happy with this or am I upset about this? I can't decide, because Jon Favreau does amazing stuff nearly every time. And he did a great job with the Jungle Book, and I think I liked it more than you did. I'm a big fan. But does The Lion King need to just be updated into, super realistic CGI? Because it's not live action. Nothing about it. It will be live action. It does not. It just is unfathomable to think. It's too close to my childhood memories, and that's a phrase that gets thrown around a lot. But this is definitely where it hits me. Like, I never had the Ghostbusters thing. I've never had anything else that, just don't ruin my childhood. I've never had that before until now. This is the closest that New Hollywood, let's call New Hollywood, has come to destroy my childhood. But maybe it won't destroy my childhood. But then if it doesn't, what's the point? I don't know. These are just random thoughts that flying around in my head, and I can't really articulate them together into a cohesive argument. Anyway, your thoughts?
Well, Disney is saying that it's a reimagining version of The Lion King.
Well, they even didn't say it was live action.
They never said live action. Everyone else, like blogs and all that, are saying it's live action. Disney has said in their press release it's a reimagining, so they hinted that it's not. They know it's not live action, and it's basically a CGI remake of the animated film. Either taking things from that movie and then either doing new things with it, like the Jungle Book did in Cinderella. So it'll be interesting to see what they change with the Lion King. But my concern is the voice actors. Like, how do you top some of those iconic performances from the Lion King? It's going to be so hard. Like, at least with the Jungle Book and all that, you could they didn't have the original people. Either some of them have passed by now, or some of them have basically retired from Hollywood. This is basically what, a 20-year-old film, maybe more now, 22 years now. I don't know how because obviously they're not going to recast the original. So who can they bring on for this movie? Like, who's going to voice Mufasa? Who's going to voice Scar? Who's going to voice Timon and Pumbaa this time around?
It will all be different. It will be new.
You can get away with Simba, but I'm not quite sure about the others though, because they're such iconic characters. Yeah, so I'm a bit concerned towards that. Maybe we'll have, obviously Scarlett Johansson's going to do one of the voices. I don't know who she's voicing. She's going to do someone.
It has to be Nala. There's not enough female characters.
Probably the older version of her.
Yeah, older Nala, obviously. Or Simba's mum.
Oh, Simba's mum. Yeah, true that.
They could do a little bit of a reimagining. I think they have to just.
That'll be Lupita Nyong'o. So.
Yeah. to justify doing a new one, they have to do something different. They can't just copy and paste the same story, same songs, everything. I'm sure there'll be some of that, but they can't do exactly the same thing and just
Oh,
update it.
they'll bring the songs back. They'll bring most of the songs back for this movie.
I think they will. Yeah, it'll be a proper musical. When the Jungle Book was criticised because it just couldn't quite decide on whether it was a musical or taking itself more seriously, because it couldn't decide whether it was an adaptation of the book or of the Disney movie. It was kind of like halfway between. And I think because there is no book for The Lion King, it's just the Disney movie, so it has to be. So they're going to go big and they're going to make it a musical.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. Yeah, the Jungle Book was the one where I'm like, I didn't mind the bare necessities, but Christopher Walken's one though, that was so ridiculous.
Oh, he did a great job as King Louis, but they didn't put the song in there.
They didn't put the song in. They just completely took me out of the movie of its realistic flair. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see who comes on the board. And I think we should say Jon Favreau he's the director of this movie. And it looks like he's also going to be overseeing The Jungle Book 2 as well at the same time. So it's going to be interesting to see how he juggles those two films, that's for sure.
I think that's one of the things directors would love to do, is have two huge projects on at one time. And then until they've done that, and then they realise that was a terrible idea.
But then again, now I think about it, maybe he can get away with doing these two, because The Lion King will be either all CGI. The Jungle Book 2 would have to, he'll need to be there to direct the kid that plays Mowgli, so maybe he can get away.
Yeah.
And it's the same visual effects team. I don't know.
It'll help him that he probably do them both in the same studio because they're both.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, anyway, there is a lot of things we don't know about this, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they've done a pretty good job so far with just about everything. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because I think that it will still be a good movie, but it's just hard to top something so close to home as the Lion King, and it does seem a little bit like it's money grabbing, but of course so does every single live action remake of every single Beauty and the Beast. Is it's all the same. It doesn't mean the movies are going to be bad, but it is a business.
The live action or the reimagining Lion King is going to make over $1 billion for sure.
Oh, got to. Jungle Book got that high.
Well, if the animated Lion King movie got to nearly $1 billion, there's no way the live action cannot make as more as the animated one.
Well, by the time this comes out, $1 billion is not going to be
it'll be $2 billion.
Yeah, maybe.
Moving on to our next one. And speaking of Disney and live action, yet another live action adaptation of a beloved Disney animated movie. Because Disney wants to do a live action Aladdin with director Guy Ritchie.
Okay, Aladdin with Guy Ritchie. See, Guy Ritchie, I'm quite a fan of Guy Ritchie. He's a little bit controversial, and a lot of people don't like him. I don't think you like him because you don't really like the Sherlock movies, and I do. So
I don't like the Sherlock ones.
Yeah. And I quite liked Man from U.N.C.L.E. last year as well, which a lot of people didn't like. So I'm quite a big fan of Guy Ritchie's directorial style. However, Aladdin does not seem to suit his style. I don't think this does not seem to be a good idea. Like Aladdin being remade, good idea, right? Aladdin remake, good. Guy Ritchie, bad. No, they should have a different director for this one.
I feel like it needs like a comedian director for this movie. Like if you want to capture the same spirit of the animated film, it's mostly a comedy musical, and I feel like you need a comedian director who's known for comedic works to handle this kind of property and do it justice.
They must have had. So they've got this whole now business that's kind of up there with their main pillars, their core pillars of Walt Disney Animation, Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars. They've now got, and Lucasfilm. They've now got their live action reboots of their movies, Disney, coming out on a continual basis. So they're trying to get that coming out with the same regularity of Marvel movies. And I wonder how long they've been doing this, because they've got Aladdin in the works, The Lion King, they've had the Jungle Book come out now. They must have been planning for this behind the scenes for quite a while to make it come out with such momentum all at once.
Oh, well, obviously they had, I would say it was probably between 2010 and 2012, because there's a, oh no, 2013 I should say, because there's a gap between Alice in Wonderland in 2010 and Maleficent in 2014, so, I mean, we got Oz, but that was a different kind of thing.
Yeah, that was, and I thought that would have been sort of where they'd leave it, and then suddenly Maleficent seemed to be, okay, cool, a spin on a tale, not a reboot, which, okay, but now they're just going flat out reboots of the original movies, so...
Yeah. And hey, the reboots seem to be much more favourable to the ones that are trying to do a different take and spin on the story.
That is also true, and I have not noticed that until you pointed it out, so thanks for pointing that out.
No
Good point.
Problem. But Aladdin is another one. Who can you top the genie, like Robin Williams?
Oh my god, no.
How do you top that?
How do you do that tastefully and respectfully, considering Robin Williams passing just a couple of years ago? Like, how do you do that properly?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They have to overcome it. But with Aladdin, live-action Aladdin, what does this mean about the prequel genies? Does that mean that's now cancelled? Does that mean that's now pushed, shelved in the Disney vault?
I think was that announced before
Robin
Williams stuff?
That was. I think that was last year. I remember hearing we were talking about that last year.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely know about those, but I think that means that they're cancelled. They've been sidelined. They couldn't probably get a story working for them, so they just thought we'll just reboot Aladdin.
Yeah, we'll just do it.
It was. Yeah.
But I think the problem with doing the Aladdin, you can take the same story if you really wanted the songs. Problem I think is it's going to be the genie. He has to be completely a different character. Like Robin Williams, I'm pretty sure he came up with most of the jokes in the animated film, so you can't reuse those same jokes. So I'm assuming they'll have to create some new jokes and to see what they do with the character. But Genie is the one I'm really looking forward to see what they do with that. It's either going to make it or break this movie, I think. Or they're just going to be a little bit more straightforward, like Once Upon a Time's version of the Genie. That's more of a straight, less comedic character, unless they're going to go for that. And with Guy Ritchie, that might be where they might be going with, based on his past efforts.
Okay, maybe. We'll see, but there's also another issue about Aladdin that might come up, and that's the casting, the race issues, the diversity, and
that's the same with Mulan as well.
Stereotyping of the East, which the original animated film already gets a little bit of bad rap for. But yeah, anyway, it's going to come to life. This gets remade, even if Genie's just got remade. It's this Middle Eastern almost culture is touchy subject. Which is where the Aladdin comes from. It comes from like it's 1001 Arabian Nights, or whatever the original stories are.
I'm sure Disney will keep it faithful. I mean, Disney is basically the only ones that can gamble on this, because you got the Disney brand, you got the Aladdin name. People will see it no matter what. So Disney's got they can gamble on that.
Oh, people will see it. Yeah, no worries. But I mean, there's going to be a little bit of outcry no matter what they do. They can't avoid rebooting Aladdin without a little bit of outcry.
Of course, everyone's going to cry. People cried over The Lion King. People are going to cry no matter what any studio does.
True, this is true, and it also is relevant to the other film that they're going to live action reboot that's been in the news in the past 2 weeks, which I assume you got on the agenda today.
Is that Mulan?
Yes.
No, I didn't have that on the thing just because it was just a release date. And I've only got 5 news stories to cover yet.
Okay, yeah, no, but there's also been this, like, Mulan's been announced before. We know that. Right? We talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about that.
But
we even talked about the Sony one 2 weeks ago.
Oh, come on. I give up. Yeah, there was a bit of a controversy earlier in the week that was about this leaked early script of Mulan, Disney's Mulan coming through, that had a whole story being told from the perspective of a white guy from the West, that goes into China, and it's kind of like what's happening with the Great War movie. With Matt Damon as the lead and going in and saving the Chinese. They were gonna have a love story told from the perspective of a white character that falls in love with Mulan or something, and it was massive outrage. So Disney actually released a statement that said this is not going to be about, like, Mulan movie is not going to be from the perspective of a white guy. That's rubbish. They've not kept that script. They discarded that. So this race does come up even in the early stages.
It was only a spec script anyway.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean, yes, they bought it. I'm assuming Disney bought it, so there was no other Mulan movie in the same time, of them working and getting development.
Yeah, that's
Sony still on one. But I'm assuming that's the case, considering also they even announced when they announced the release date that they are on now a worldwide casting search for a Chinese actress to play Mulan. So I don't think this movie's going to be a white cast. So
no, it's not. No, they're not going to make that mistake. That's too controversial. I hope that mistake never gets made by any major studio ever again. But I do not have confidence in that. But Disney's better than that. Disney won't. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. Continue with what's up. Let's move on.
Okay. The next one is speaking of childhood. This next one, the first trailer for Power Rangers was released, and you just watched it just before we started this.
I watched it just before we started because I had not seen it yet.
So you're more fresh on this than I am.
Power Rangers has never really been close to me. I never had an interest in this movie. But I watched the first trailer, and it actually looks pretty cool. They seem to, the characters seem to have chemistry in the trailer, and I think that's probably going to be one of the most important things if this movie works or doesn't work, is the actors playing the main Power Rangers and whether they have the chemistry to connect to each other and to the audience, so that we care about them. And from that, that trailer seemed to have a really big emphasis on character, and I was really impressed. However, it looked a lot like Chronicle, and I know that that scene with the origin scene in the trailer where they get their powers, very, very Chronicle. And I don't really like Chronicle.
Well, Chronicle was like underground. This is basically anyone can sort of see it if you like look right off into the.
Okay, slightly, yeah. But other than that minor problem, I feel like that it was a pretty cool trailer. I enjoyed it. I'm keen to see this movie, which I wasn't before.
Well, I was always excited to watch this movie, but I was so what's the word I'm looking for? Scared, hyped and scared at the same time. Hyped that they're doing a big budget Power Rangers movie, but also scared at the same time. What are they going to do? Are they going to smurfify this material? Are they going to be faithful with this material? And from what it seems, they're being very faithful to the material while also changing things up.
Okay, well that's a hard balance.
It's not Smurfs.
Between smurfifying and.
It's not smurfifying. Yeah. Smurfifying is on the bad scale.
No, well, they look like they're taking it seriously. Like they're trying to ground it in reality.
Which is good.
I just hope they don't do it too much, because it's going to look really stupid if they try and ground it in reality too much.
Well, I've always wanted them to. I think when I said about the Power Rangers when they announced it, I wanted them to be like the Amazing Spider-Man in Marvel properties, like having light humor into it, but also making it a little bit dark, a little bit gritty, and sort of mixing the balance between fun and gritty. Not going too gritty that DC does, and not going too cheese of what the original Power Rangers movie was.
Yeah. It is a story we've kind of seen before, though. Like some bullied youths or whatever, like, go and find, commonality with each other. They stumble across this power source that gives them superpowers and generally strength. And then they get superpowers and they save the world, and then everybody loves them. They're not bullied anymore. We've done this before.
Truly, I don't think there hasn't been many films that superhero films that I would
Yeah.
say touch on bullying. The only one I can think of is
Comic.
Chronicle. But besides Chronicle, that's the only one that comes to my mind right now. And not many do that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why that sounds so familiar though. Like it's even like as you said, it's like Amazing Spider-Man. It's like that's just with one person, but that's Spider-Man's story. Is he's bullied, he gets powers, he's cool. You know, they're bullied, they get powers, they're cool. It's the formula, it works. I think it'll do well. It might even be very fun, and I'm excited. But from the non-biased perspective, which you're obviously very biased, because
I'm not very biased.
you're very close to you. Yeah, you're looking at this from a perspective of nostalgia and childhood, whereas I'm looking at it from just any other movie. It seems to be like it might be actually a really good movie, so I'm excited.
Yeah. And what else is going to talk about as well? Hopefully it's not too cheesy. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping
That's what I'm
the
saying.
jokes, because some of the jokes didn't get. I was just like, I don't think about that. I don't think that delivery was that good. But I'm hoping it's funny. I'm hoping there's some humor that's better than what the trailer is making out to be. And hopefully it's not too goofy like Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Because some of the lines in that movie just made me want to shake my head in disbelief. So I am hoping it's not too goofy. So I'm hoping it's a bit serious. And oh man, the last scene in the trailer, I'm ready for this movie. I can't wait for March now.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool last scene. Bring on March.
Bring on March. And talking about audience's response, we're going to talk about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. Not specifically the movie itself, but the fact that this trilogy has now become a 5-film franchise.
Woo! Harry Potter forever. This Wizarding World will never die. It's the new Star Wars. The new Star Wars. Yeah. Anyway, I always go first. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Warner Brothers, stop milking the cash cow, because why?
The cash cow's dead.
Like, I've got a problem with Warner Brothers, and it's that they think of money before quality. And I'm hoping this is the other way around. But considering that Fantastic Beasts is sort of on the same path as what the Hobbit films are becoming, that they were supposed to be, like, Fantastic Beasts, when it was announced, was just one movie. And then they announced it was a trilogy. And now they're saying it's a 5-film franchise. Unlike The Hobbit, it was starting off with 2 films, then it became 3. And I'm just hoping that this is actually quality and not just financially. I know everything's financially, but like it's not for the sake of just getting money. Of course, but like obviously Lord of the Rings fans, like I would say that half of them probably don't like the Hobbit films, and the other half count the Hobbit films as part of the whole Lord of the Rings franchise. And I really hope they don't stuff this up with the Harry Potter franchise. And yeah, that's basically my point there.
Yeah, well, it's at least a little bit financial, and I was a bit frustrated. The trilogy, that sounded okay. That sounded like that was something that was planned, you know. Yeah. Again, still financial, but J.K. Rowling, I would have expected would have come up with a 3-film story. Maybe she's come up with a 5-film story. It's a bit different from The Hobbit, because The Hobbit came about after they filmed, and they had all this footage, and then they was like, oh, look, we've got so much footage, we can make it 3 movies. But they're filming each movie individually here. I think the difference between that and any other example, Fantastic Beasts has Rowling, and she's writing the scripts. She's writing the screenplay, so she hopefully knows.
Hopefully, this is her first
she's
screenplay.
A storyteller. She's a master storyteller.
I know, but it's different from writing a book to writing a screenplay.
That's also true. We'll see how well she is, how good she is at screenwriting. Because Steve Kloves was very good. He did all the Harry Potter scripts, and he did a very good job.
Oh, almost all of them.
Yeah, all but one. And he did a very good job. Actually, the one he didn't do, what was that? Was that Order of the
Yeah,
Phoenix?
that's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, you can really tell, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
You can so tell, and yeah, that's why the Harry Potter movies I think worked actually was because they all had the same screenwriter. So if J.K. Rowling is like amazing at screenwriting, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt because if the first Fantastic Beasts movie is good, then all of the next four will be too. But I just feel like what are they going to do after this? Cursed Child? Please no.
Probably.
This is at least no. This is like at least 10. This is like at least 10 years of movies already, though. 5 every 2 years we get a Fantastic Beasts movie. 5 movies, 10 years. That's a lot.
I'm hoping that I'm hoping that when we see this movie next month, I'm hoping that I can see. Oh yeah, I can see that they can expand on this to make a 5-film franchise. But just judging the trailer, he's just finding beasts that have been like escaping from his briefcase. I don't really know how if this can set up for 5 films. Like is he finding a new beast every film?
Oh my god.
I don't know. That's how I'm
Little
pitching it.
Stitch. I don't know. It's. I think that what I've heard some people say is that it's going to start out as a Beasts movie, and then it's going to morph into a series about Dumbledore and Grindelwald, like a prequel kind of to the what sets up the Harry Potter, at least the Deathly Hallows part. So they're going to expand on that over the course of 5 films. The relationship between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, told through the eyes of what's his name, Newt Scamander or whatever. I don't know. It's some stupid theory, but this does. Fantastic Beasts feels like a standalone film based on the trailer and everything I've heard from it. The first one seems like a standalone film. They can only do this once. It seems like a Rogue One. This is the
yeah. That's what I always. That's the way I always pictured this film, though. Right from when they announced it, I always thought this was just a one-off spin-off film, not a new franchise.
Oh, I thought it would be a trilogy from the get-go. I never thought it would be 5 films.
Everything's a trilogy these days.
Oh, I don't know. It's there's nothing we don't have enough information to go on, so we can't really say much more, but I just wish that they'd stop announcing release dates, stop announcing films 10 years in advance, please. It's just ridiculous.
At least we're getting this film. Avatar 2 is still, I don't know when I don't think that's even going to hit that 2018 date.
That's true. I don't think this movie's ever going to come out, this Avatar, but that's another story.
Next week we'll talk about Avatar 6.
Yeah.
And to top off, Styx Entertainment, which has become like a sort of a new major studio. Not quite major yet, but it's a minor studio and it's on its way up to, I guess I would probably call it the new Summit Entertainment, maybe. That they are going to do, not a Bad Moms 2, they're going to do a spin-off film of Bad Moms, and they're calling it Bad Dads. And it's going to be released July next year for 2017.
Well, I am not surprised, considering how well that movie did.
I'm surprised that it's not a sequel. And it's a spin-off.
Yeah,
the Bad Moms targeted women. So you're doing the complete reverse. So I don't think the audience that turn up to Bad Moms are really going to watch Bad Dads. So you're now going to target this movie. Obviously, I know adult males would have watched Bad Moms, but like the majority of it would have been women. So now you're targeting a completely new demographic for Bad Dads, and I don't know.
It seems to be a different demographic, but actually I think it's secretly the same demographic, and the trailers will be targeting the same demographic.
Well, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, she's going to go Bad Dads.
I got
on the release date, they'll change the name to Bad Mums to Bad Dads.
I got a quote from Deadline, and they saying that Where other studios have automatically greenlit traditional and significantly more expensive sequels, Styx has determined those sequels on average are grossing 68% less than the originals. Instead, Styx has chosen to focus on extending consumer passion for the Bad Moms brand with a series of film spin-offs, a reality television program, a reality television program of Bad Moms, short-form digital content, and a robust consumer products program.
Yeah. No. Excuse me while I just go and bath. Anyway, consumer. Just no. Well, anyway.
But we were chanting Bad Moms this year as a original film that did really well based on its budget. And now it's launched its full franchise.
Well. Makes sense.
But you know what?
The old adage, Hollywood's run out of ideas. The well is dry up. I think we've nearly hit that completely. I can't wait for award season because at least we'll get some movies that aren't just, greenlit because they ran out of ideas.
But it'd be funny, like, if they're launching like this Bad Parents trilogy, like, let's go with Bad Moms is the first film, Bad Dads the second one, and Bad Parents is the third film, and get the mums and the dads from the.
Well, they did that already. Meet the Fockers, meet the parents.
Yeah, well, let's do like a Marvel Universe type thing for this.
Yes, let's make it a cinematic universe. Yeah, do it. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say on that one.
Okay, well that wraps it up for this week. Hopefully you tune in for. I don't know if we're going to continue doing these every Sunday, so we'll see if this sticks. Sticks. Okay. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. If you want to like our Facebook page, you can at Facebook. Just put Everything Film in. It should be the first one that comes up. We're reaching 200 likes, and we gathered a couple of new likes the past couple of days. So
what we can do for 200 likes.
I don't know. We talked about Pixar.
Talk about that. Oh, let's talk about Pixar. No.
I don't know what we'll do for 200. Has to be something cool.
Yeah.
But we'll think about it and we'll come back to that. But yeah. Oh, and you can like our blog. You can follow our blog at everythingfilmreviews.wordpress.com. Hey, what?
Great. Please like our blog. It's a great blog. It's better than the Facebook page. Do the blog.
It might be getting better. I'm trying to work on that. So yeah. Right. And you can follow us on Twitter. I forgot about that too. You can follow us on Twitter at everythingfilm1 because everything film was taken. So lucky to those people.
Oh my god, those bastards.
So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and until next time, bye for now.
Until next time.